My mother was known to some people as Grammy Tic Tac. She used to pass out those little orange breath mints to my 4 daughters at basketball games and school concerts and graduations. One venue where she was sure to break out her little box of candies was Grandparents' Day at the school where I teach English, from which all 4 of my girls have graduated. Before the dementia set in, Mom never missed a single one of those events with my girls. She always showed up, Tic Tacs in hand. This last September was the first Grandparents' Day at school since Mom died 4 months before. I got to my classroom a little early that morning just to try to settle in and adjust. I was doing okay. I wore a purple tie because purple was Mom's favorite color. I decided to text my in-laws, whom I rarely reach out to, and I tell them that I'm thinking of them on this special day and how much I appreciate all the work they've put in over the years to be part of the girls' lives. I write all this because I mean it and because I love my wife's parents, but also in part, I'm sure, because I can't say things like that anymore to my mother. I managed to type and send without shedding a tear, although it's touch and go for a while. So now it's my first English class of the day, and as it so often happens with these events, several students and guests are late. So I'm kind of milling about and scanning the room and taking attendance when I notice a well-dressed grandmother pour something out to one of my female students, who holds out 2 cupped hands like a communicant receiving the Eucharist. I look more closely, and I see several white oblongs tumble into the girl's hands. Peppermint Tic Tacs. The girl pops them into her mouth and smirks gleefully at her grandmother and leans in affectionately until their foreheads touch ever so slightly. It is a gesture filled with overwhelming intimacy and love. We study Hamlet with the seniors every fall, and at this moment in class, I'm reminded of a line from his first soliloquy. Heaven and earth, must I remember? We often talk about how when we have lost, memory is pain, how it brings so much anguish that we want nothing more than to forget, to move on, to distract ourselves from the burden of the pain of memory, which is exactly what I do in English class. I turn away from my student and her grandmother and stifle a welling flood of tears as well as a flood of memories. Mom's nervous laughter and her persistent smile, her overwhelming affection for the girls, the piles of presents on birthdays and Christmases, her refrigerator engulfed by family photos, including the annual portraits commemorating Grandparents' Day. I hold all of this at bay and I stare intently at my computer screen as I cue up the video that will present today's lesson. I'm grateful for the excuse to turn my attention elsewhere. But I see now that I have failed. I've missed an opportunity. Like Hamlet, I have held my tongue, and also like him, my heart is broken. But the mending must come through sharing and connection, not through stifling, hiding, or distraction. Sure, what we covered in class that day was instructive and meaningful, but there is no greater meaning than this. How do we go on when we have lost? How do we bear the pain of memory when memory is all that we have left? My mother will never give another thing to any of my daughters, not even something as small as a half-gram Tic Tac. They will never exchange Christmas gifts, pose for another photo, smile at one another, or touch foreheads. All that has ended. And every time I'm reminded of her absence, I have to bury my mother all over again. Hamlet only mourned his mother's death for a few moments, and he never got to tell anyone her story. I'm going to do it better. The next time an echo of Mom's life confronts me, I will not turn away, but lean in and look this painful beauty directly in the face. I'll try to wear more purple and text my in-laws more often. I'll shed tears if I must. I'll tell the next student and her grandmother, my mom used to give my girls Tic Tacs too. She preferred the orange ones. She's gone now, but she loved us when she was here in every possible way she could. Isn't that wonderful?